Hey guys, this is Adrian with University Success. In today's video, I'm not necessarily going to be answering a question. I'm going to be more suggesting a book that I think you should read or listen to. Now, this book has really helped me in my personal life. It helped me pull myself out of nihilism and hedonism. I kind of had the mindset of nothing really mattered. I wasn't motivated. I kind of had the crappy attitude of what's the point, and I've kind of struggled with that concept for most of my life, um, and I never really had it laid out in a certain way that this book did, and it's really helped me because I've been able to give meaning to my life and set goals and work towards those goals, which really is a, how do I want to put it, like a strong motivating factor for why you get out of bed every day. Now, I was never super depressed. I was just super, just didn't have a direction in life. It's kind of like, I don't know, wandering blindly through the woods with no guide or tour. And when I found this book, it was kind of like finding the trail that led me out of the forest into civilization. So it's definitely a book I think you should check out, which is Jordan Peterson. It's 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. So I'm going to kind of go over the 12 rules that he has in the book and kind of give my brief summary of them in my own words and kind of how each one helped me and benefited, from my standpoint, and how like my experiences were altered because of it. So the first rule is stand up straight with your shoulders back. Now, he presents it in the book as a way to kind of hold yourself disciplined and hold yourself accountable, and it also gives off the confidence vibe to everyone around you. You've heard the thing of fake it till you make it, and this isn't really faking it. It's more when you stand up straight with your shoulders back, you kind of exude that confidence, and it makes you, honestly, it kind of, when you slouch down, you're kind of down, you're kind of, like, what's the point, this and that. You stand up straight, it forces you to have kind of a different outlook. And that's how that rule has helped me. And it's hard to do it all the time, but I definitely think that it's an important thing to try. I think it would really help with just a more positive outlook, a more confident view from other people who view you as more confident, and that will increase your confidence as well. It's just kind of an all-around good rule to try and stand up straight, because when you slouch, it gives off a negative impression. It kind of makes you feel down. And when you think of you see like a cartoon of a depressed person where they're always like this, drooping. When they're Superman, he's standing up like this with the S on his chest. I mean, there's a reason for it. It's just, I don't know, like human biology, or it's like, I don't know, some kind of mental state that it puts you in, but it really does help. The next rule is treat yourself like you would someone you are responsible for helping. So now he kind of gives the example in the book of when you take your dog to the vet, and the vet gives you pills to give to your dog to help him with whatever sickness he or she may have, and you, without second thought, you give the dog the pill because that's what's best for them. Now, I can't remember, he gives a certain percentage in the book of people can get a new kidney and they will not take the medication to keep that kidney. The rate that people actually take the medication the doctors prescribe is super low, and it's because people don't value themselves and they don't put themselves first. And I think that's it's a big thing that holds you down, because if you don't value yourself, then you're not going to be able to put forward put forward the energy to better yourself, because when you better yourself, it helps the people around you. Just think about it. If you're basically like a scared loser guy that doesn't have anything going for him, the people that are around you end up leeching off of them, and they have to help you. They have to go out of the way to help you. Well, on the other end of the spectrum is when you're the leader of the group, you're the guy that holds yourself to the highest standard. You're the one that takes care of yourself the best. You see the value in yourself. Then you can help everyone around you you can help them see that in themselves by being the example. So I think that's definitely a huge thing, is you treat yourself like someone that you care about, and like someone that you want what's best for them, and you put that outlook onto yourself, and you kind of boost yourself. Because sometimes when you're wanting to do something, you're like, oh, I'm kind of scared to do that, or I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. But when you think of like a friend, and you have solutions in your mind that they could put into practice and it would help them tremendously, and they won't do it, but you don't think a second thought as far as how hard it would be for them to do that, you just see that it would help them. So what he kind of states is you should bypass the fear, bypass the doubt, and just do what you think is best for yourself, essentially. And so that's one thing that's really helped me. Because look at me, I'm starting a YouTube channel right now. I'm not the best speaker. I'm still working on speaking. I wasn't great at giving speeches in college. Granted, I did quite a few of them, but I'm doing things that I fear, that I'm comfortable with, because I feel like I'm trying to do what is best for myself. And ultimately, I think that can help you, whether you're a college student, whether you're a parent, whether you're still a kid, whatever part of life you're at, whatever point in life you are at right now. I think that is just a general principle that can really help you. Now, rule 3, make friends with people who want the best for you. Now, you've heard the old adage, you are kind of the people that you hang out with, you know. You should try and surround yourself with people that are going to throw logs onto your fire. You don't want somebody dumping buckets of water on your fire trying to put it out. You know, when you come through with good news, whether you lose weight or you started working out or you're getting good grades, you don't want the guy that's trying to one up you saying, oh, I did this better, I did that. Or they're trying to criticize you in another fault that you may have, instead of saying, hey, good job, man. You should try to get better at this now, you know, types of things. You want people around you that are going to make you better. Because, I mean, you see these tech CEOs and stuff, you don't see them hanging around with drug addicts or people that have not accomplished anything in life, that are just trying to get by. They hang out with basically their hierarchy people. And I think that's definitely a crucial thing to consider, because yeah, you definitely want people in your corner, because life's hard and things aren't easy, and sometimes you need that encouragement from the people that are around you. And so I think really kind of look at your scope of friends and see what if they have your best interest at heart, and they're not trying to throw buckets onto your fire. So let's see the next one here. Compare yourself with who you were yesterday, not with who someone else is today. Now, in the book, he states at a point, you could always, you know, diminish your accomplishments. You could say, well, I'm the president of Canada. And then someone will say, well, you're not the president of the United States. Or you could say, I'm the mayor of Utah. And then the other one could say, well, I'm the mayor of New York. You know, you can always find someone out there that's doing something at a higher level that diminishes your goals. But when you diminish your goals, you're really selling your achievement short, your accomplishment short. So you should focus on yourself and think, what was I doing yesterday and how am I doing today? Now, it's crucial, because each day you want to try and incrementally get better. I mean, you can't become Bill Gates tomorrow, but you can take steps each day that could get you there, because it's all about being consistent. It's all about building one brick at a time. Now, there's one video that Will Smith says that his dad actually knocked down a brick wall in his shop and had Will and his brother build that wall, rebuild a brick wall for about a year and a half. They laid each brick by brick, and at the end of the year and a half after they built it, he said his dad told them, don't ever tell me that you can't do something in your life by taking little steps at a time and building that foundation. So it's crucial to set up foundations like that. So each day you want to, incrementally improve. Set aside maybe 20 minutes to do something you want to do. It doesn't have to be 5 hours. You don't have to do 3 days. You know, just something slowly build on it day by day, and eventually you'll have your wall. And I mean, once you have your wall, it'll feel pretty damn good. And then maybe you'll have, I don't know, the Great Wall of China. Maybe you'll have a city. Maybe you'll have a planet, you know. I mean, look at some of the executives in the tech business. I mean, they have such influential pull that, I mean, they slowly laid their bricks, made their way up to the top, and made their path. I think a lot of people that struggle in life don't have the don't have the concept of incrementally getting better. They just want to say, I'm a victim, I'm oppressed, I can't get there. And it's no, they're just looking at it the wrong way, and they're not using the tools that are in front of them. So the next rule, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. So basically for me, this one didn't affect me too much because I don't have children. I'm still single, no kids. But he basically says that most human beings like children. They just dislike them when they are little tyrants that their parents raise. So he basically says that you want to hold your kids accountable and don't allow them to behave in a way that makes other people dislike them, because the goal in life is to make friends with people, gain acquaintances, network, and get people to like you and hear what you have to say. So if you're doing things that make people dislike you, then it's gonna affect your success. So that's essentially what that rule is. Rule 6: set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. So basically, before you go out and you start preaching to everybody what you know the answer and what your opinion of the answer is, you need to look inwardly and try and fix yourself and try and fix the flaws that you have. Because, like for me, when I was a manager, a store manager, I would always preach, we need to keep the store clean, we need to be neat and organized, but you come to my apartment and it's a disaster. I mean, I'm over there preaching to employees that they need to do something that I don't even do in my personal life. I mean, how can you honestly convey something like that to somebody when your house is in disorder? So, basically, before you start preaching, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and try to fix your problems before you're trying to fix everyone else's. So that's essentially what that rule is. 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. So this is an important one for college students. I feel like specifically because other people can use this rule too. But I think college students tend to maybe pick a degree because it's easy, because they can get an A in it, because they have a better GPA, not because they love it or not because it's challenging. They do it because it's the easy way out. So what Peterson says here is that you want to do something that's meaningful, that's going to when you're done with it, you're like, hell yeah, I got my way through that. I did that. You're not like, oh, I got an A because I took the easy way. It's just you want to do something that's meaningful, that means something. When you get it, when you attain it, that you grab it, and it's like the holy grail. Like, hell yeah, I did this. Look at what I did. And when you do something expedient, when you get done, like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I did that. It just doesn't mean as much. So definitely in college, do not pick a degree so you can get an easy A. Don't do that. It's a mistake. And same with like working. You could take the easy way out. You could take a position that's kind of in your wheelhouse that makes it easy, or you can take a position where you don't know anything about it, that you have to work. You have to learn something new. You got to hone some new tools, a new craft. Like for me, the current job that I got, I ended up working in an auto center, signing up oils and helping fix tires and that kind of thing. I don't know anything about vehicles. So I could have went and been a cashier, which I've done before. I could have been a stocking person. I could have done things like I've done before. I have a store manager. I have a lot of merchandising experience, stuff like that. But the place that I ended up going into was a vehicle center, and I really learned a lot about vehicles. And I feel like my time there was worth it. I'm not in that position any longer, but while I was there, I definitely learned a lot, and I have a new tool set now that I can use going further in my life and going forward. So I definitely think, just try and do things that are out of your normal realm and kind of expand yourself. Let's see here. So definitely pursue what is meaningful. Rule 8, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Now this one's super important because I had times in my life where I would alter facts or take stances to try and win an argument just for the sake of winning it. And when you win an argument like that, it feels distasteful. I think you want to use truth as like a propelling device that propels you forward. You want it to be at your back, pushing you forward. And I'm not sure if Peterson says that in this book. I believe I've heard him say it kind of in that terminology before. But there's deceit, and then there's truthfulness. You don't want to be propelled by deceit. You want to be propelled by truthfulness. Because when you give truth, it kind of makes you feel good. It gives you a strength inside. It gives you conviction. It gives you foundation. It gives you a good feeling about yourself. Even if you have to pay for the consequences after you present the truth, it's still worth it. You don't want to give white lies. You don't want to give half truths. You want to be just honest and truthful. And obviously, you don't want to go out and start telling people they're ugly to their face. You want to be smart about it. But you want to think critically before you start spouting out the truth. You want to really give good thought and make sure that you are giving the truth that you have articulated to the best of your ability. Now, you don't want to be giving off opinions on stuff that you don't know about and saying it's truth. You want to really sit down and think about it and consider different viewpoints, different options, and things like that, and have a basis in something before you start giving off opinions as your true outlook on it. Because I think when you're ignorant of something and you're spouting off opinions on it and it's truth, I think that turns people off. So you definitely want to take the time to think about things, reflect on them, and have a position that's based in like an educated foundation on the subject. Now the next rule is Rule 9. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Now, this is definitely lost in today's day and age. People are so important or so fixated on getting their point across, on letting people know what they think, that they will not actually, when somebody's talking to them, they'll be listening to half of what they say, and the whole time they're thinking, when's this person going to stop so I can say what I'm going to say. And sometimes people know things that you don't know, and it's important to listen to what they have to say, even if you disagree, because sometimes people can surprise you. I mean, from all walks of life. I mean, let's say you're a insanely educated person, right? You have a doctorate degree. Well, there might be a gas station worker that knows something you don't know. They've had an experience that has taught them a lesson that you haven't had yet. I mean, all walks of life, all people out there, homeless people, they've been through some stuff. I mean, they probably have life experiences that you never had, that there's always something out there that somebody has to offer you as far as knowledge that you don't have. Because every person has their own life experiences and their own structure of thinking and life experiences. So it's definitely crucial when somebody's talking that you actually listen to what they have to say and take it seriously and actually think about it, and don't be so focused on what you're going to say next or what point you're trying to make. And then also, when you actually listen to people speak, I feel like it makes them like you more, because they feel like you're validating their existence, essentially, because when they're speaking to you and they can physically see you thinking about what they have to say and kind of forming a rebuttal based on actually listening, I think that it gives them, that their existence means something, because you're taking them seriously, essentially. So let's see here. Rule 10: be precise in your speech. Now, this is another one that I've done in the past, which kind of went with the half-truths or taking stances just to win arguments. I would kind of soften certain disagreement elements of what I'm talking about, like when I'm in a debate with somebody. Instead of just being decisive with it, clear cut, black and white, this is how I feel, this is the way it is, I'm sorry it hurt your feelings, I'm sorry you might not agree with it, you might not agree with me, but this is how I feel, I'm going to be precise with it, and I'm going to lay it all on the table, and I'm going to deal with the consequences of that. And it's important not to be politically correct and soften positions and soften things like that. You want to think of a belief, look inward and think of a belief that you have, and then formulate it in the most precise way to lay out your position, cold, flat, black and white, So the person you're talking to, or the people that are listening to you, can articulate a response based on something that you made in a decisive way, so it's more clear. There's not fog surrounding it. They're not trying to weave in between what you really mean. It's just there. It's crucial. And this is one thing that I actually have in my, as far as writing, I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker. So with writing, like a personal story, in college, whenever a class would have like a page requirement of like 8 pages, I always struggled. I would hit 6, and then I would have to like fabricate to get to 8. And I feel like my papers always suffered that way. And so I disagree with page requirements in college. I think that you should give kind of like a general idea and let the person write about the topic that you've given them to the best of their ability and end it there. Because for me, I would have to fluff and fog my argument to get it to reach that 8 pages when it was much better at 6, because it was more precise, it was more clear cut, it was easy to read, it was straight to the point, and no bullcrap. So I think that that's one thing that I benefited as far as my writing is that I'm very decisive in that. So it's really awesome. Damn dog. Oh well. No takes. We're just going with it. All right. Rule 11: do not bother children when they are skateboarding. So I think with this one, if I remember right, basically, one sec. Elliot, stop. Basically, I'm trying to remember what this one was exactly, because it's about kids skateboarding in Toronto, and then they put up these barriers and ways to stop them from using public areas for leisure skating and type of, so they put on like stops on rails and stuff so they couldn't grind on them. I mean, I think that it's based on, if you limit people's creativity, it makes things somber, and it like limits gain as far as like experience and such. That one I'm a little foggy on, forgive me for that. Rule 12: pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Now, to be honest with you, I don't really remember this one too well, so obviously it didn't resonate with me that greatly. I know that he does talk about the cat kind of being a wild animal and only coming to you when it wanted to, and that dogs kind of run to you and they just love and jump in your arms and such. So forgive me on that one. Like I said, no takes. We're just going, this is just off the cuff video that I wanted to record. So, but yeah, I definitely recommend this book. Obviously not all the rules have resonated with me, because there's a few that I was kind of gray on, but, or, like the kid one that didn't really affect me. Maybe it will, and if I do end up having a child. But I definitely recommend this book. Like if you're depressed, if you're sad, if you're lacking motivation, you don't have goals in life, you don't have something you're aiming at, I definitely think that this book can pull you out of that, because it pulled me out of it. I was 50 pounds heavier. I was kind of depressed. I wasn't working towards anything. And granted, I was already working towards those goals when I did finally read this book, but I had watched a lot of Dr. Peterson's lectures. And so I kind of got the message before I actually listened to it, because I did listen to an audio, I didn't read it, because I like to listen to it when I drive and I'm doing chores and things like that. And I do recommend, another tangent, I recommend the audio book over reading it, because Dr. Peterson narrates the book himself, and he does a great job. And I don't think you get the emotional aspect of it and that crucial element that he provides by actually reading stuff that he believes deeply in. I mean, there's moments where he gets super emotional and he cries, and you can just feel the passion in his voice, and I think that really strikes a chord more than just reading it yourself. So I definitely recommend the audio book. But yeah, so definitely check the book out if you're kind of lacking purpose in life and you're struggling with it. Yeah, thanks for watching the video today. I know it's a little different than the other ones I had done, and it was kind of random. I just decided to sit down and do it after I had listened to one of his lectures today, and he did a Q&A, and it made me think on a few different aspects. And so I was like, hey, I love this book. Why don't I share that with other people? So that's kind of why I made this video. Yeah, if you liked it, hit the thumbs up. Sub to the channel if you want more videos like this. I might do a few more. There's a couple other books that I'd like to recommend too. comment in the section below if you've read this book. Comment in the section below if you're thinking about reading this book. I'll definitely respond to any questions you have about it. Yeah, thank you for watching, and before I end it, I'd like to thank Dr. Peterson for helping me out and helping millions of other people out. You're amazing, and I can't thank you enough, and I'd love to meet you one day and shake your hand. All right, thanks guys for listening. Peace out.